It is day 11. I'm trying to double my lawn mowing business in the next 100 days by the end of the year. Today, I'm back to that commercial car yard. Just got to do all those hedges. The hedges are coming out alright. It's taken a little bit longer than I thought because it had been a little while since it had got done by the last guy. So that's a little bit annoying, but part of the game, isn't it? So that's fine. Do that. Spray at that property, spray at the Bunnings across the road, and then the other two guys are on regular lawns, which is awesome. I love when they're on regular lawns. Honestly, it makes my job way easier as the manager, because there's nothing to manage. They always just go do their job. It's simple. They don't have to think about it. There's no curveballs. Very rarely do I have to actually communicate with them throughout the day. So it's super simple, nice and easy. Let's go. My books showed up yesterday, which I'm stoked about, and I will work on them over the next little while. I think I just got to start, we're slowly getting back into the rhythm of just working constantly and not having weekends and stuff. We'll slowly chip into that. For now, got to have weekends, stuff like that. Like over the next couple, I think this weekend and then 2 weekends from now, I still have to do stuff personally, so that's fine. Just make do, September will be that transitioning month, going from not working that hard to working hard, and hopefully October, November, December we super capitalize on it, and the growth comes, and we can get lots of jobs. Man, you know what I find insane? The amount of money that's around. Like some of these cars that are 130, 140 grand for an SUV, and I'm like, bro, people drive these things all the time, and it's not even big. And then you go up to like 200 grand cars, 300, 400, 500 grand cars. You're like, that's some money. People make a lot of money, and I want that. We gotta figure it out. Anyway, here we go. Bits and pieces like this. Lots of these little odd gardens today. But most of that big one's done. It'll be like maybe an hour of work because it's just the top of them, which is easy. But we'll work away at all these little gardens. I'm just doing the rounds on some quotes now. Something to try when you're doing quotes, if they're not home and you're gonna go do a quote, so you're just walking around the property, quoting for whatever. What I typically do is I'll quote for whatever I think needs to be done. So they'll say gardening, some like weeding and some hedges, and then I'll just say to them, like, look, I'll quote for everything I think needs to be done, and then we'll scale it back if need be. And I've never needed to scale it back. I just quote for a full garden cleanup, all the weeds, all the trees, all the shrubs, all the debris, like everything, as far, as much as possible, and then let them scale it back if they want, and they never do. It's always, perfect. But anyway, you try making a video. So you just film yourself walking around their property, explaining what you're going to do, and then they know exactly what's going to happen and what exactly the quote entails when you send it to them. And then also when you're doing your actual quote, itemize it tidily. So I'll do mine in the way, like I'll have a title, so say garden cleanup, and then it'll be like 1, pull out the weeds in the front garden, 2, trim this shrub to about 1/2 meter, 3, and then usually there's about 10 points on the quote, but it makes it very understandable for them and then understandable for you, because if you just said garden cleanup, it's so unclear what's happening, and then if there's any dispute about what needs to be done, they can't, you've got something to work on. Because if you just say garden cleanup, they could basically add anything and argue that that's what was included. But if it says only trimming 3 of the 4 trees in the back, you only trim 3 of the 4, and then if they try to get you to trim the last one, you can increase the price. You just say, yeah, but it wasn't included. Like, I could definitely do it, wasn't included. It would be $80 and I can do that as well. Whatever. But it's just more about being clear. Same with employees. Like, in any human interaction, being clear is always better. And so that's what I've lent towards more. and not trying to be scared about people's emotions and stuff like that, because when you're a people pleaser, you tend to soften stuff, which makes it unclear and then ends up having problems. Whereas if you're just clear from the beginning, you have far less problems, and it's always better, both with employees, customers, your personal relationships. Clear is always better, in my opinion. Man, we gotta try to remember not to be discouraged when customers leave. I thought about this when I was looking through the numbers a few days ago, at the end of last month, that we hadn't had much people cancel last month. So, on average, we lose about 3% a month. And last month, we only lost 3 customers, which is like 1.5% or 1%. So, I kind of knew it was coming, but it's never fun when it happens. But I had 4 people cancel just today, all moving houses. It's just part of the game, eh? Like, it comes. It's just a numbers game. Every month, 6% of people are gonna leave. 3% of people are gonna leave, which is 6 people for us at the moment. And as we get more clients, that number becomes bigger and bigger. So it's kind of sucks, but it's just reality. Every month, I know that the first 6 customers that I bring on board are just stopping us from going backwards. It's just keeping us in the same spot. Then after that is the growth. So if I get 20 lawns, only 14 of those are extra lawns. The others are just replacement lawns. So kind of sucks, but it's important to know your numbers so you know that what it takes to just stay where you're at once you're ready to stay there. We're at the gym. Doing shoulders and triceps. I hate the gym. I hate lifting weights. I don't know why. When I was young, I lifted weights for like 3 years in high school, and I loved it then, and I was shredded and all good. But then since being an adult, I hate coming here. I just do it for one reason. It's literally the reason. I want a wife that's in shape and cares about health. So, what's the goal? How do you get it? Goal is a wife that's in shape and likes, into health. So I must be in shape and into health, or at least, good enough at the health thing. So that's why we're here. And I'm about 2-3 years away from looking for a wife. Once the business is sort of squared away a little bit and I'm late 20s, which means I need to get to the gym and do it more consistently, get used to it, regardless of whether I like it or not. Because it really takes at least 2 years, 3 years to actually get in shape and get some decent results from the gym. So, just gotta do it, whether you like it or not.